Donald Trump woke up and in the morning, he likes a little bit of coffee and he likes a little bit of racism. And today we got both, with him tweeting, "The suburban housewife will be voting for me. They want safety and are thrilled that I ended the long-running program where low-income housing would invade their neighborhood. Biden would reinstall it in a bigger form with Cory Booker in charge." What? Okay, so some of that, we got the suburban dream or whatever from a couple weeks ago. What does Cory Booker have to do with any of this?
It's the first black person that came to mind outside of Kamala Harris. So then that was his problem. Because let me see, who else was a bigger name presidential candidate that at least made the stage? Oh, Cory Booker, he's black too, right? There we go, let's go with that. Because I've already said the invasion line. I've already talked about how these communities are gonna, previously talked about these communities are gonna be destroyed, the housing values go down, crime will be up. Where have I heard those stereotypes and tropes before? Maybe when the idiot first came down the escalator and said Mexicans and Latinos are rapists, they're drug dealers, they're criminals, invasion, caravan. We heard about all this before. This is nothing new. These are the same terms used when you want to espouse your racism to your racist base.
Exactly, that's all it is. With a little bit of misogyny too. The idea that it's all just these housewives that are just hanging out waiting for Trump to protect them from black and brown people moving in their neighborhood.
Those pristine white housewives have to make sure they're not gonna be invaded by these rapists, black people that are coming to your community to commit crime and cause rape. Where have we heard those types of racist tropes before? When? In what part of our history?
Yeah, I was gonna say America always. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it's intended to be. The right will pretend that that's not what it is, but that is what it is, and that's what they want it to be. They want him to say stuff like this. They're desperate for it. If that tweet had included the N-word, what percentage of his base would hate it? Is it 5%? That would be like, no, he shouldn't have said that. And what percent are hot for him to finally use the word publicly? They've heard that he used it, behind the scenes on The Apprentice. They want it out in the open. But anyway, so there's that. Obviously, there's the little bit of misogyny, but then also, like, think about if you actually believe that what he is saying is a thing that could potentially happen, and you're worried about it. So it's not actually true. Multiple studies have shown that adding low-income housing does not universally create extra crime and stuff like that. But think about, there's this one worldview that he is trying to appeal to, which is poor people commit crimes, especially black and brown poor people. I have to defend the good white people from them. So we set up walls to keep them out of the country. Inside of our country, we keep them as far away as we can. Isn't there like an alternative worldview where you just stop them from being so poor that in your mind they inevitably turn to lives of crime? What if they weren't paid so little? What if they made a living wage? What if they had access to all of the economic benefits that have historically given to the people that you're trying to appeal to with that tweet? Maybe then they wouldn't be inevitable harbingers of doom and crime and pestilence. Like, that's another direction that we could go in.
Yeah, or maybe historically in this country, black Americans have established thriving communities, bustling communities that are full of successful people, hardworking, middle class, upper class, whatever class people, because humans, black Americans are Americans too. We've historically had these communities where they've been disrupted, they've been overturned by terrorists, other Americans that come in and terrorize their communities simply because it's a thriving black community. Let's keep it real. Or get invaded by the things where cops didn't come in and over police those communities. And all these things happen where suddenly it's a crime-ridden community because that's what these people in power have told us that it is, when in reality they've helped facilitate and destroy these communities, because there's nothing like seeing successful black people collectively come together that would destroy your narrative that they're a bunch of lazy slaves, former slaves that just can't get by without the assistance of the good old white guy. These are the things that they're consistently saying. And side note, not too ironic, but that Cory Booker guy that you were talking about, he is, upon his birth and his family, has experienced things that happened with the housing problem when they were growing up in 1969. He's told the story many times. I don't know if Donald Trump ever paid attention, but that's the first thing that comes to mind when people think, wait, Cory Booker, is he bringing him up because of that whole real estate steering thing that happened with his family when they couldn't get a house? Because what was obviously happening after they decided to investigate this, when black families would come to the neighborhood that his parents eventually bought their house in, they'd ask, they'd look for housing. This is again in the late 60s. Where the real estate agents or the people selling the houses would not sell them the house. Then 5 minutes later, a white couple comes and asks the exact same questions about the exact same house. And guess who gets an offer? That couple. So to flip the script, Booker's family sent the white family in, they gave them the whole paperwork, but the black family came in his and said, you know what, it's us instead. Guess who got punched in the face? But the attorney for the family, and who was thrown out by this same real estate guy. But there was a rule in effect around that time. All these things happened to Cory Booker and his family. So Cory Booker is gonna be the guy that's gonna come in and destroy your pristine white communities with all these black, poor, lazy people.
Yeah.
When his was the family that was getting pushed out by these racists and these terrorists previously.
I mean, I'm glad that you brought it's literally perfect. It's that Cory Booker was himself and his family the target of those sorts of policies, and Donald Trump and his family have literally done that to other black families. It's so perfect. But of course, his fans, like, we can describe all this we want. That's not gonna turn them against him. This is what they want out of him.
No, the reaction to them is, oh, you've made these libs cry. Crying is not stating facts and pointing out your racism. That's just you looking like a bad guy.
Right, and really fast, not related to any of this, but he replied to his own tweet and tweeted one other thing this morning. I just thought it was weird. One, because it has nothing to do with what he was talking about, and two, because it's the most amazing projection ever. And bear in mind, this is coming off of a day where we're gonna show you a couple of videos later on of him speaking, and you can tell that he's Sleepy Joe up there. Like he's just not physically the same as he once was. So he tweeted, watched Bill Maher last week for the first time in a long time. He's totally shot, looks terrible, exhausted, gaunt, and weak. If there was ever a good reason for no shutdown, check out this jerk. Check out this jerk. He never had much going for him, but whatever he did have is missing in action. Like Trump in Vietnam, dun-dun-dun. But anyway, yeah, Bill Maher, look, I'm not a defender of Bill Maher. I don't love Bill Maher, but like, yeah, he's not himself physically. He's falling apart. He's weak and tired. Not me, him. He is. Look at him. Oh God, tweeting is exhausting.
Why are you watching Bill Maher, bro? You know what? I haven't watched.
Why is he watching Bill Maher?
I haven't watched Bill Maher in years either. So,
I watched the segment that Bill Maher did about Trump after seeing this tweet. And it was Bill Maher giving a fake eulogy for Trump. And so I get why Trump would be mad at him, but like, stop watching people that hate you, man. You clearly can't take it. You're too sensitive in all the wrong ways. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.